From Dolphins Soccer Park on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet is proud to welcome you into coverage of CSI Dolphins men's soccer on the ECC network. In today's non-conference matchup, the College of Staten Island Dolphins take on the Yellow Jackets of American International College. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman alongside Aaron Cohen, and this is the McDonald's pregame show. McDonald's, of course, our great scoreboard sponsor here at the College of Staten Island, bringing you our pregame show each and every Dolphins home game here on CSI Sportsnet. And Aaron, we last saw this Dolphins team play here at home 1 week ago. That game was suspended and ultimately canceled 18 minutes in due to inclement weather. There was lightning in the area, and of course, for the safety of the players, officials, and everyone down on field level, that game was stopped. It was never resumed. So for the Dolphins, it has been over a week since they registered a decision in a match. That will change here today. They hope to get back in the win column. They've won their lone home match so far in 2023.
Yeah, that's right. It's been 10 days. They haven't played a full game in over a week, and that could be difficult for their rhythm. Because, once you get into the swing of a season, you want to be getting those games in consistently. When that's not happening, you have to remain match fit somehow. And American International, they're going to be a really interesting opponent for the Dolphins today. They are 0-1-3 on the season, so haven't won a game, 3 draws. But don't let the results themselves confuse you. They were able to draw with number 19 in the country at the time ranked Post University, and they only were able to relinquish their lead after they went down to 10 men against Post. So that's a big game against a worthy opponent right there. But the real reason that the Dolphins should be worried about American International is because of the way that they like to play. So when we last saw them on the field out against Bloomsburg was giving them a lot of difficulties with the high press. Dolphins couldn't really deal with it. We're giving up the ball in the midfield and in really bad positions. And that's very similar to what American International likes to do. They're going to be energetic. They're going to be high up the field. They're going to get on the Dolphins from the very start. And hopefully they've had the opportunity to learn from their last, 27-ish minutes out there against Bloomsburg and make some adjustments. But, yeah, definitely a different team tactically to what they've seen as well on the attack. So what Bloomsburg will like to do is we're going to be watching their left back, who comes all the way from Denmark, Gabriel Nielsen. What he's going to do is he's going to tuck into the midfield so that when they have possession, they have 3 at the back and 4 in the middle. And so that's going to give them a numbers advantage on their base 4-4-2 formation. It's going to kind of become a 3-6-2. Numerically, that did not make sense. 3-4-2.
You've given far more insight than I could have, Aaron, so I appreciate that. And Aaron, of course, doing his homework, took in some of American International's games ahead of today's broadcast. But what I can tell you is that the Yellow Jackets have played 4 very closely competitive games. You mentioned the 1-1 draw against Post University, nationally ranked at the time. They drew with Wilmington as well, 2-2, and then they took on CSI's next opponent in Bridgeport University. That accounts for their lone loss. They fell in that game by a final score of 3-2 before finally taking on Mercy and playing them to a scoreless tie back on September 13th, that game 3 days ago. So the Dolphins also have played some very close competitive games this year. Of course, their opener was decided by 4 goals, but statistically, those games have been very close. The Dolphins, in terms of shots, are being outshot by just 1 attempt this season. That's in shots on goal, to be exact. And then in shots, they're also being outshot by 1. So a lot of statistics. Corner kick, shot percentage, shots per game, penalties. You look down the stat column for this CSI team and their opponents, very, very close. 8 Dolphins goals this year as opposed to 7 for the opposition. We could be in for another one of those highly entertaining, back and forth, close games today, and you have to think that if this game gets as physical as some of the games we've seen this Dolphins team play already this year, that the 1-week layoff certainly does play to their advantage in this spot.
I agree with that. In terms of physicality as well, we have to think about aggression. We know that our home Dolphins get a little bit antsy. They got themselves 9 yellows and 2 reds so far in the season, but American International, staying with the theme, they are also very similar in that way. 11 yellows so far and 1 red card. So we can expect to see more chippiness, especially as the game goes on. American International is a team that likes to hold possession a lot, so they might try and slow the game down and just swing the ball back and forth across their defense, and that could cause some frustration from Staten Island. If they're not able to win the ball, they might start getting into tackles and creating some fouls.
And as we've seen already this season, Aaron, this Dolphins team, a team that certainly loves to utilize their speed, especially at those forward spots. And we've seen a lot of goals come from those forwards so far this year. Leading the way, Miguel Espinoza, he has 3 goals and 6 points. But I think something else the Dolphins coaching staff likes to see, 5 different goal scorers and 5 different players who have registered an assist this season. So the depth of this Dolphins team, definitely something to watch. They've gotten contributions from just about everyone who set foot on the pitch this year. And in just a few moments, we will get a chance to meet the 11 Dolphins who will start today's game. So while starting lineups are being introduced and the national anthem is being played, Aaron and I will step aside. When we come back here on CSI Sportsnet, the College of Staten Island takes on American International College in NCAA Division II non-conference play. This is coverage of CSI Dolphins men's soccer on CSI Sportsnet, a proud part of the ECC network.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, got 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. If you could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials, check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
And we are back from Dolphin Soccer Park. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Aaron Cohen on the call for this men's soccer non-conference matchup. The College of Staten Island Dolphins take on American International College. Dolphins come in with a record of 1-2. American International coming in with a record of 0-1-3. Starting lineups have been introduced out on the pitch, and with the starting lineups for both teams, my broadcast partner, Aaron Cohen.
Thank you very much, Joe. All right, first we will go over the American International College starting 11. So in numerical order, we have number 1, Lucas Morales Fernandez. He will be in goal today. Number 3, Gabriel Neeson. We talked a little bit about what he can offer at left back and coming into the midfield. We have number 4, Guillermo Alfonso. Number 6, Tom Hulshoff. 11, Simba Pelletier. 12, Nicholas Chapman. Anton Granholm. Esben Goldegger, Mel Shevers, Ali Talib, and Marco Dasso. So that's who we have starting for American International College. One player that is not starting I'd like to highlight is number 7, Manuel Schwartz. He's a graduate student. He's got 2 goals from 10 shots so far this season, so he likes to pull the trigger. Now for your College of Staten Island Dolphins, we have number 2, Michael Garcia. We have Luis Asensio Cueva. We have Miguel Espinoza, Daniel Angulo, Brian Carolou, Fortune Uzo, Raul Naranjo, the transfer, Alex Morris, Leandro Angulo, Brendan McGuire, and in goal, Amari Thompson. So exactly what we'd expect from College of Staten Island. A lot of intrigue from this American International side and the things that they like to manipulate on the field, both in and out of possession. So it should be an interesting matchup.
We spoke a lot about these two teams during our pregame show. Some very impressive performances by this American International team so far this season, most notably the 1-1 draw against Post University, as we mentioned before, a nationally ranked opponent. As for the Dolphins, they picked up a convincing 4-goal victory in their opener. They have dropped back-to-back games since. First at Assumption back on September 3rd. That was a close one. Dolphins fell 4-3. They then lost to Goldie Beacom on the road by a final score of 3-1. However, the Dolphins are looking to remain perfect on their home turf here this afternoon. Historically, they have been a very strong team here at Dolphin Soccer Park, and that's a trend they hope to continue this afternoon against the Yellow Jackets, who are on the road for the first time this season. All 4 of their games have been played at home to this point. So the Yellow Jackets on the road for the first time against this Dolphins team that will kick off to get things started from the College of Staten Island.
The big concern from those previous 2 full games that they have played is that they conceded 7 goals. 7 goals in just 2 games, so they're really going to have to clean it up in the back and try and concede, 2 or fewer so that they can contend in this game, because if they're leaking goals, it's going to be hard to keep up.
Quite the pace to this game to get started. The Dolphins worked it right up the pitch, and now American International was looking to play the ball into the attacking third, but the Dolphins get it onto the foot of their goalkeeper, Amari Thompson, who sends it through the midfield where it's headed back in the other direction as the two teams fight for possession, and the Dolphins have it. This is Kiralu. Back to Asensio Cueva. Now Leandro Angulo up to Alex Morris, working along the near side. He's met quickly by Pelletier. Naranjo in the midfield for Angulo, give and go, and Morris made his way over and could not keep it in.
American International's midfield is very fluid. There's going to be a lot of interchange, so it's something that the Dolphins are going to have to keep track of. They're not going to have the same guy next to them all the time.
Asensio Cueva getting tangled up with Taleb there. And the whistle goes against the Yellow Jackets.
It's aggressive, trying to win the ball high up the field, force those mistakes. If they were able to get their hands on the film against Bloomsburg, they would have seen that it's a weakness of the Dolphins.
Asensio Cueva back to Thompson. Thompson sends it into the midfield. Uzo the nearest Dolphin. And that was last touched by the Yellow Jackets. Dolphins will throw. Garcia will throw here. Espinoza, the nearest Dolphin. Uzo joins the fray as the two teams battle for possession, and once again, it is last touched by the Yellow Jackets. Garcia will throw toward the corner, and Angulo misplayed it. Goal kick, American International.
He'll be disappointed with himself there, Angulo. I know he has high expectations.
Pressure from Naranjo there as the Yellow Jackets look to work out of their own end, and the Dolphins all over right now. At least 4 Dolphins working in that corner in deeper than the top of the penalty box.
I really like that tactical plan from Staten Island. You know, I was talking a little bit in the pregame about how American International likes to control the ball, but no matter who you are in college soccer, if you're a defender getting pressed, you're gonna make mistakes at this level.
Well, if there's one team that's equipped to manage that press from the Dolphins, not just based on player skill, but on sheer numbers, it's this Yellow Jackets team, as the Dolphins press forces a giveaway. Naranjo in a foot race now. Squares up his shoulders with the center of the pitch as he's forced toward the sideline. He gets it right back from Angulo, plays it into the penalty area. Maguire, the nearest Dolphin. And Morales Fernandez jumps on top of it. But this roster for American International, a huge roster.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. So many players here. And, you know, even when teams have these many players available, they usually don't bring them all in away games, but American International chose differently.
Well, officially on the NCAA stats platform, I think they have 60 players listed, which means 60 players eligible to get in a game. Now, obviously there are not 60 players here today, but they might have between 30 and 40. That's still a very large number. That's about where the Dolphins are as well. Low 30s officially on the roster. I think it's 32. Here come the Yellow Jackets now. Pelletier moving in toward the top of the box. Has a step, shoots, and it's saved by Thompson.
Well, what a big play there to stop the shot. Pelletier looking super dangerous from the off, and we know that he has a lot to offer. He's super quick, very direct. But he took one touch when he got into the box that angled him a little bit away from the goal, and it took a lot away from that opportunity.
Pelletier with a share in the team lead with 2 goals on the season. Alongside Manuel Schwartz, you mentioned before, not in the starting lineup. Notable omission from the starting 11 today. Kirilu tried to take it away there. He could not. But Dasso gave it back to CSI, and his team now has it in the midfield.
So we can see the back three that they're employing right here, the pseudo back three, although at this moment the left back is staying.
Ball winds up in the hands of Amari Thompson once again. He will roll it over to Asensio Cueva. Dolphins look to work up the far side. Garcia for Uzo. Uzo looking to turn, and that ball's knocked away. Good tackle trailing the play by Gallagher. This is Afonso looking for Pelletier. Pass was cut off by Morris, and Naranjo avoids the challenge from Pelletier. Now Kirilu for Angulo, and right back to Kirilu. Kirilu moving across the midfield stripe. He loses a marker. Kirilu wanted to play Maguire through, but seeing that all the way was Afonso.
That's great anticipation from Afonso. Must have checked the shoulder to see the defender thinking about making the, or I should say the attacker, wanting to make the run in behind, and just filled the gap immediately.
Afonso has it again. Yellow Jackets look to work through the midfield, but the Dolphins continuing to disrupt those passes, not making anything easy. Good dribbling by Angulo to get away from a challenge or two, and he draws the whistle. Free kick, Staten Island.
It's a great watch so far this game. Very evenly matched, and both teams trying to play good soccer, really trying to combine in the midfield.
Morris working against Pelletier, now moving toward the center of the pitch. He wanted Kirilu, but again, good anticipation, this time by Hulshoff. Pelletier being forced back toward his own goal. Kirilu nearly got in front of that pass, and now Afonso's forced to play it back to his keeper. Morales Fernandez into the midfield, headed by Leandro Angulo of Staten Island. Winds up on the foot of a Yellow Jacket, but they quickly gave it away, and Angulo could not make the pass out of the slide as Kirilu is fouled. The whistle goes against Marco Dasso. Free kick, Staten Island once again. Angulo for Asensio Cueva. Once again, the ball on the foot of the Dolphins goalkeeper, Amari Thompson. Already a winner of the East Coast Conference Defensive Player of the Week award. That came back during the first week of the season. McGuire forced toward the sideline. Good ball for Uzo. Uzo racing toward the penalty area, and he is dispossessed. But the clearance attempt was knocked down by McGuire. Uzo still battling. And waiting for the official signal here. And I think it's going to be a corner kick for the Dolphins.
Well, I have to say, that was really impressive tracking from Mel Shevers. I mean, he was far behind, but he hustled. And Uzo took a less than ideal first touch, which allowed Shevers to get back.
Garcia, cross, wide of the far post. McGuire got a piece of it, but could not direct it on goal. And the clearance winds up in the seats. Dolphins will throw from in the attacking third. Long throw toward Naranjo is chipped in the air. He plays one into the box. McGuire was tangled up with Afonso, who clears. Headed by Taleb. Garcia giving chase. Shevers in hot pursuit. And Thompson just got it away. Again, contacted by the Yellow Jackets in the midfield. Dasso wanted Taleb on that pass, but it was broken up. And once again, the Dolphins will throw.
Dasso, number 46, a junior forward, 5'7", and their name is American International College, and this roster certainly lives up to that name. Dasso being an example, he's from Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Living up to that name, no doubt about it. A lot of international players, not only on the roster, but in the starting lineup today.
That's right. We already mentioned left back number 3, Nielsen, who's from Denmark.
Ball played toward the far side, and it was misplayed by the Dolphins in the back. Opportunity here for the Yellow Jackets. Shot blocked, and Morris is able to clear as Taleb had a golden opportunity from in close. Good job to stay with it by Morris, and his back was to the shooter.
Wow, that was lucky. It's fortunate that ball popped so high up into the air. It meant Taleb had to wait for it to come down. He chose to take the touch with the thigh. And by the time the ball was down in a shooting position, defenders are already there. So Dolphins get away with one there.
That shot off the back of Morris, he was able to quickly figure out where he was and clear it. Credit to him for that body position. He was in the right spot, but did not see that shot coming. Good effort by the Yellow Jackets as well, just to get a shot out of that. Asensio Cueva looked like he took a shot to the face. Free kick, Staten Island here. Lone shot on goal in this match belongs to the Yellow Jackets. Saved by Amari Thompson off the foot of Simba Pelletier. American International works it out of the midfield and right back in. Neeson able to get it to Goldagger, and now Yellow Jackets once again send it up the pitch. Hulshoff back to Neeson, and now Afonso. Goldagger couldn't bring that one in. Trickled past him. The Dolphins look to take advantage, but we have another whistle here, this time against Staten Island.
Well, I was about to comment on the patient buildup that they were developing, the Yellow Jackets, but just a simple misplay by Goldagger caused some problems.
Dolphins have it once again, and we've seen this several times already. The Dolphins playing the ball back to their keeper in order to get set. And now Garcia has it far side, right back to Asensio Cueva. Thompson again. Sends one toward Naranjo. Headed in the other direction by Neeson. Now Pelletier chips it in the air. Neeson right back to Pelletier. And now Neeson again. Afonso. Broken up by Kirilu. Naranjo turns quickly. Naranjo for Uzo. Uzo in the penalty area. Being challenged by two defenders, and he draws the penalty. Clock stopped at 31:15, and the Dolphins earn a first-half penalty kick.
And you know, it all comes from that mistake from Afonso, who's been really solid in the opening stages of this match. He decides to step up with the ball and try to find a pass, but the pass was erroneous and immediately intercepted, which left the Yellow Jackets defense exposed. And then, you know, you get the ball to Uzo in space, and he's super dangerous. And that's the type of things that he can do when you allow him to run at you.
Well, there's a look at the penalty. And in just a few moments, the Dolphins will attempt the penalty kick. Daniel Angulo on the penalty kick. What a save! Morales Fernandez with an incredible save. He guessed correctly, but the Dolphins get another chance and another huge save by the Yellow Jackets goalkeeper. What a sequence, Aaron.
Wow. Lucas Morales Fernandez, take a bow. Incredible dive. I will say the penalty was at a pretty good height for the goalkeeper, as we have a weird mistake here. But not at a good height. You want to take the penalty either, you know, completely along the ground and make the goalkeeper get low, or, you know, try to go up high. But he put it right in the middle, and Morales Fernandez guessed right. And Dolphins can't take advantage of a golden opportunity there with the penalty.
Huge save on the PK, and then the shot that followed, forcing Morales Fernandez to make another tough save. Dolphins crossing one toward the near post. It was contacted right in front of the Yellow Jackets keeper, and quick reactions along the post there to make that save and finally bring an end to that attacking play for Staten Island.
The good thing to see is that they seem mostly unfazed by the missed penalty. Still playing just as aggressive, which is good. Strong mentality from the Dolphins.
If you're the Dolphins, you have to be very happy with this start. And you said it. No need to be discouraged by the missed penalty kick. You love to get ahead early, but the missed PK doesn't take away from the good things you've done so far. And the penalty kick, though unsuccessful, not a bad attempt by Angulo. He got a lot on it. Perhaps could have put it a bit wider, but it took a correct guess from the goalkeeper and a full extension diving stop.
Yeah, like I said, any goalkeeper will tell you that their preferred height for a penalty kick is, you know, middle, like waist height, because it's easiest to dive that way. So if I have one criticism, that would be it. But yeah, you know, if a goalkeeper guesses right, they guess right.
Throw in Staten Island taken by Garcia toward Uzo. And he's quickly dispossessed. Here come the Yellow Jackets. That ball sent up ahead for Dasso. Dasso will look to cross. And that was sent off of an attacker and saved by Thompson. An unusual play there as the Dolphins sent that ball right off of Taleb. It then ricocheted, and Thompson stopped it. Right place, right time.
Yeah, he just, he put himself in the area where the ball was going to arrive, and you never know what might happen. Thankfully, the ball didn't have much momentum coming towards Thompson, and he was able to collect easily.
Long ball up the pitch toward Taleb. His marker, Leandro Angulo, and that's played back toward the far side.
Taleb's doing a good job of using his frame. He's tall, 6'1", and he's just backing into the defenders and really establishing his possession when the ball gets played up to him.
Neeson moving forward with some speed through the attempted slide tackle by Kirilu. Now Pelletier gets around Morris. Left-footed cross, center of the box. Shot blocked. Nice redirection by Taleb to set up that shot by Melishevers. Yellow Jackets moving in again on the attack. Attempted give and go was broken up by the Dolphins there near the top of the box.
Really direct play for the Yellow Jackets. They have shown quite a cohesive attack so far. I mean, they know how to get to the goal. There's no doubt about it.
You could see it on full display during that last attacking play. Quick, crisp passing around the penalty area. The players knowing where their fellow attackers are going to be. And the Dolphins did a good job to disrupt it. Body position going to be very important for the Dolphins around their own net in this game. They need to be aware of their surroundings at all times. This Yellow Jackets team moves the ball quickly.
So it looks like the Yellow Jackets, for the most part, have adjusted their tactics, and they still have that back three, but instead of inverting their left back, they just push their right back all the way up the wing, sort of give themselves a front four when they're in possession.
These last couple of minutes, they've gotten the better of possession time, perhaps a bit longer than the last couple of minutes, really since that stop by Morales Fernandez in goal. As now Thompson was forced into a dangerous spot, but the Dolphins come away with a goal kick. Well, Thompson will jog back into the net as we had an unwanted guest in the booth. Aaron took care of business.
Those dang lanternflies, man, they're everywhere.
Lanternflies and wasps up here, and the wasps are a big problem here on campus. There's definitely a nest in the baseball press box. We've seen it before. There must be one up here in the soccer press box as well, because there is a wasp infestation issue here. Aaron was having none of it.
Trying to do my best to help out the safety and comfort of those inside the booth.
We're all for it. Dolphins have it in the midfield. Naranjo. Over to Angulo. Morris calls for it. Morris onside. Gets a foot on it. And he did not contact the ball in time. Goal kick, American International.
Well, it was the right idea. Great ball from Angulo. Just put a little bit too much on it. If he could have pushed that ball just a bit wider, would have had Morris in plenty of space. And I like what Morris did in that he really took the effort to call about it and make his run known. A lot of wingbacks will make that run up the sideline, but they'll stay pretty quiet about their presence, but not Morris. Long goal kick. Uzo able to collect the loose ball. Good tracking back from him. Ball played all the way back to Amari Thompson. A little bit of pressure here, high pressure from American International. Well dealt with by Angulo.
We had to get the unwanted visitor out of the booth.
Giveaway here in midfield.
And that's redirected, but wide of the frame where Thompson has no problem getting to it. Taleb's been everywhere so far early in this game. He's been very involved on the attack. His teammates looking for him. And the Dolphins have had to keep a very close eye on him.
Yeah, he could have been through there if he had had a better first touch, but he lost his footing just a little bit. And we're seeing the effects of that high press for American International. Similar issue to Bloomsburg.
We approach the midway point here in the first half. 23:40 on the clock from Dolphin Soccer Park. Throw in Staten Island here from just shy of midfield. That's headed right back the other way by the Yellow Jackets. Angulo able to keep it away. And now he looks to switch play toward the near side. Morris. For Naranjo. Naranjo forced toward the near side. And a good ball for Morris. Morris chips it toward the box. Plays it with the body. And down he goes as that's sent off a defender. And it trickles away. But the Dolphins putting the pressure right back on the Yellow Jackets there. Stellar attacking play from Morris just to keep possession with CSI.
It's really nice play, and it's just a little bit more patient than we tend to see from the Dolphins, but in a good way, you know, because they're trying to take the best advantage of the possession that they get. Morris went down, but not enough contact there for a penalty.
Definitely the possibility that Morris could have drawn a foul there as well. He was in a lot of traffic. Very high effort play from the CSI freshman. Goal kick coming up here for the Yellow Jackets. As the clock winds down toward 22 minutes to go in half number one. It's been a very entertaining first half so far. And we've said that many times this year already for both the men's and women's soccer matchups that we've covered here on Sportsnet. Dolphins really struggled for offense last season on both the men's and women's side. That hasn't been the case this year.
No, they've shown energetic, strong attacking ball in every chance that they've gotten, at home especially.
And Angulo looked to cross, but the Dolphins will earn a second corner kick. Taken quickly. Naranjo for Angulo. Angulo well wide of the far post, and an attempt toward goal was blocked. And that is cleared over the far sideline.
Well, that was a creative little set play that they ran, and it actually worked. They found the free man all the way at the back post. He just couldn't connect with the volley, so I got to give him props for taking something straight off the training ground right there. Oftentimes that does not work in game.
Angulo surveys. Plays it up ahead for Morris, near side. Pelletier, strong challenge, forcing Morris to give it up to Angulo again. Asensio Cueva moves into the midfield. That ball sent toward McGuire. Bit strong on the touches. He takes down Hulshoff. That looked like a Madden hit stick on that play. McGuire went flying through the air.
That was a lot of contact. You don't see that often in soccer.
You could tell he tried to avoid the contact by contorting his body, but that was some collision. Garcia lost it. Here come the Yellow Jackets again. And that is sent perhaps a bit wide, but Thompson was forced to redirect it out of play.
Great work by Chevers. Being diligent in defense, winning the ball, and then making the run into the box, forcing a save, winning the corner. Really good effort.
And I'm not sure you could ask for a better through ball than that if you're Chevers either. That pass hit him right in stride. And if you're going to generate a shot out of that opportunity, that's the kind of pass you're hoping for. Right now, Amari Thompson engulfed in a mass of bodies as that was sent over the touchline again by the Dolphins. Second corner kick of the game for the Yellow Jackets coming up here.
Not a good delivery. You got to beat the first man on the corner. Didn't leave them any chance of scoring. They're lucky to get another attempt.
The last corner was sent near post. That's a good one, but it's headed over the frame.
Well, that was a lot better than the first one. Just couldn't get the purchase he wanted on the header. That was Taleb. But that's the execution that they were trying to do.
Dolphins will make their first substitution of the match. Chudley Deplin enters the game. He replaces Alex Morris. That ball over the head of Naranjo and onto the head of Neeson. Pelletier goes down. 3 Dolphins surrounding him. And he could not keep it in. Deplin wants somewhere to go with it. Will throw long toward the midfield stripe where the ball is headed in the air by Hulshoff. And a whistle goes against the Dolphins here.
Yellow Jackets, I think, will look to play this short.
Well, they won't be allowed to play it from there.
Every referee is picky about something.
Benjamin Hernandez waiting to check in for the Dolphins now. Morales Fernandez sends it long. And Thompson is able to get there, plays it on a hop.
It was speculative, but it wasn't a bad idea there for the long ball.
Thompson for Angulo. That ball sent to the midfield. McGuire first to make contact with it. Now Naranjo back to Angulo. Garcia. For Angulo again. Angulo moving ahead with some speed. Deplin wants it. Angulo sends it his way. Deplin works toward the center of the pitch now. And a bit of a miscommunication there with Naranjo.
Despite the miscommunication there with the pass, it's clear they get more success whenever Angulo is able to find space in the midfield.
A lot of what the Dolphins do on the attack is generated through Angulo, whether it be shots or attacking plays from the midfield. And here comes Uzo. Uzo for Naranjo, it's blocked. Huge opportunity there for the Dolphins as Naranjo got all of that shot. And didn't catch who it was that made contact, but they certainly paid for it.
That was about to be a highlight reel level goal. I mean, starting with the footwork from Keralou in the middle to find Uzo. I mean, that was beautiful. And such a shame that shot got blocked. But incredibly positive play from the Dolphins. Hope to see more of that. The home fans definitely do.
Dolphins have possession back right along the midfield stripe. Looking for an opening. They work it back toward the near side. Angulo for Deplin. Deplin for Espinoza. Espinoza gives it away. That was not a good pass. But the Dolphins don't appear as if they'll pay for it. Kiralou breaks up that pass attempt, and now Espinoza's moving forward into the attacking third. Challenge from behind. No whistle, and play continues. Espinoza still down on the pitch. Asensio Cueva commits the foul as he was boxed out nicely by Dasso.
Relatively even matchup here. Both teams getting their opportunities. Plenty more opportunities to come. But just overall, very fair competition. And I think both teams have a lot of things to be happy about. It's going to come down to who makes the defensive mistake.
Looks like the wind may have killed that ball heading toward the penalty area. Retreating now. Neeson gave it up. Afonso plays it toward the far side. Granholm played it toward the center of the pitch and got it right back. He's moving up the far side. Pass intercepted by Uzo. Uzo being challenged by Shevers. And which way will this go? It will go the way of the Yellow Jackets. Dolphins now with 2 substitutions waiting to come in at the scorer's table.
Uzo got trapped there a little bit. Just fooled by the press and had nowhere to go.
Benjamin Hernandez out, or I should say, out onto the pitch. Brendan McGuire off the pitch. On the other side, Manuel Schwartz into the game, making his first appearance of the afternoon. That ball a bit too strong. It will roll right over the touchline. Goal kick, Staten Island. CSI will also make another substitution here as Jamali Peterson enters the game. Miguel Espinosa will head to the bench. Thompson over to Asensio Cueva. Garcia for Kirilu. Kirilu. Near side for Deplin. And Deplin was able to keep it in. Hernandez for Naranjo. Naranjo wanted Hernandez. It was broken up again by Afonso, but Naranjo with an answer stops the clearance. And the Yellow Jackets will throw.
I just want to say, what an effort there earlier from Deplin, keeping that ball in and keeping the attack going. That was very athletic.
No question about it. Leapt through the air and was able to redirect the ball back into the field of play. Schwartz working hard through the midfield. And a whistle goes against the Dolphins.
Players didn't like that call. They felt like there wasn't enough there. American International take it quickly. They go short.
Typically, if the whistle goes against your team, the players never like the call. And every once in a while, you'll have a few aspiring officials in the stands, and before you know it, things are out of control. No aspiring officials up here in the booth, though.
No, definitely not.
Whatever the official says, that's what it is. Until you reach baseball and basketball season, then I become an aspiring official. Under 12 minutes to play in the first half. And Deplin breaks up that pass along the near side. Pelletier will throw.
That's a good step there, recognizing that the pass didn't quite have enough on it. Gave himself just enough time to poke it away.
Easton threw it short. And that one may have hit Pelletier's hand.
Linesman saw it go all the way over the line. Couldn't get the ideal angle from up here, so.
Instead, Dolphins awarded a throw-in. Naranjo down. And there's a good breakup by Angulo. That would have been a very dangerous ball if that had gotten through.
Pelletier making things out of nothing right there.
Angulo with great reflexes defensively to get his head on that ball. And there's another good ball. Once again, Taleb moving forward. And that shot was disrupted. There is a rebound. And it is well wide on the second shot attempt as Taleb went down.
What an interesting sequence of play. I mean, what at first looked like Taleb becoming clean through. Again, first touch, letting him down just a little bit, allowed Angulo to get back in front of him. And then Thompson letting up that rebound that looked like a sure goal. and all I can say is Angulo came out of nowhere to make a goal-saving play, to say the least.
Sent toward the near post, headed on frame and kept out by Hernandez. Benjamin Hernandez saving a goal there. As a quality corner set up an opportunity in front for the Yellow Jackets, the Dolphins keep the game scoreless. And we'll get a second look.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Yellow Jackets feel like they should be ahead right now, and for good reason. They have been peppering the goal in the last few minutes. Two really solid chances there. And the Dolphins should be counting their lucky stars just a little bit. And maybe they can nick a goal here at the end of the half and go in with the lead.
I couldn't tell if that ball traveled behind Thompson and on goal, if it somehow got around the diving attempt at a save. It was tough to tell. Our perspective didn't make that clear, but Hernandez in the right place. And that's taken away by Pelletier.
Yeah, and the player with the header there was Manuel Schwartz, the substitute player that we talked about. 2 goals already this season, so his impact has been made in his short time on the pitch.
He was being marked by 2 Dolphins there as he went up for that header.
He is a physical presence, Schwartz.
That was on full display after that last corner kick set him up for the attempt on goal. But Benjamin Hernandez right now, the reason this game remains scoreless. That's chipped straight up in the air. Taleb towards Schwartz. And Asensio Cueva saw him making that run over the shoulder. He will now box him out. And goal kick is the ruling. The Yellow Jackets very unhappy.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I did think that was off Asensio Cueva last, but referee didn't see it that way, and Dolphins fans will be relieved for that.
Under 8 minutes to play in this first half. It has been a back-and-forth game from the start. No team gaining any significant advantage for an extended period of time. It's been maybe 5 minutes in favor of Staten Island, 5 minutes in favor of American International. Back and forth since the opening kickoff. Both teams easily could have a goal or 2 on the board already.
I know we don't get advanced stats at this level, but I'd love to see the expected goals that each team has accumulated.
And there's a tremendous ball for Daniel Angulo. Angulo moving in toward the touchline. Sends one on goal. It's hit in the air. Out of play off the save by Morales Fernandez. And the Dolphins have earned another corner kick.
We know how fast the College of Staten Island can explode into attack. And great example right there. But the Yellow Jackets did a good job of getting back and shutting down Angulo's options.
That was a great ball to set up Angulo, as that was sent right back into the box by Asensio Cueva. He's trying to keep it with the Dolphins. Could not. Deplin onto the foot of Schwartz. Here come the Yellow Jackets on the counter. Shevers working against Garcia. Plays a man through. That's Valerio, and he scores! American International on the counterattack has the game's first goal, and they lead the Dolphins 1-0 with 6:31 on the clock in this first half.
Well, it's just a really clean counterattacking goal off of a CSI corner. Pelletier's winning the ball in the defensive half and just getting the ball ahead of him as quickly as possible. And once it was at the feet of Shevers, he had the numbers advantage. He had 3 guys to choose from, and he found a really, really nice ball. And the finish was super simple. Just slid it past the goalkeeper. It's hard to say it wasn't coming. American International has had their chances, and they were just finally able to capitalize. Dolphins will definitely have a lot of work to do to build themselves back into this game. Not to say that they haven't had their chances, but American International has definitely been more threatening.
And with that, the Dolphins face their first deficit of the season here at home. Have not trailed at Dolphin Soccer Park through their first 2 home contests. Of course, one of those suspended and canceled by inclement weather. Still just over 6 minutes for CSI to get on the board in this first half. The Yellow Jackets, however, on that last counterattack, got things developing so quickly, and I mentioned it before, how precise they are on those through balls. And once again, we saw that on full display, setting up that last goal. It was a great through ball to set up Valerio, pass hitting him in stride, and he put it past Thompson, who could not get out to the ball quickly enough. That one headed out of play by Angulo. Throw in American International with 5.5 to go in the first half.
See if CSI can change the momentum at the latter stage of this half. Try and build something to be a little more positive about at halftime. But American International trying to slow the game down and take the air out of their opponents.
Ball played up the far side. Here come the Yellow Jackets again, as that ball sent up ahead to Shevers towards Schwartz, but Garcia there to intercept. Angulo, far side.
I mean, it's just really nice build up there. Nothing really else to say about it. Miscue pass in the final third, but other than that, really great.
It's going to be a free kick here for the Yellow Jackets. They've played most of these short. Don't suspect we'll see that again unless Angulo gives them plenty of space to do so. Two players lined up over the ball. And that is sent toward the near post, headed away by the Dolphins and cleared.
Target there was Afonso, big center back.
After that, Neeson with a blast up into the netting behind goal. Put everything he had to that last attempt. 3:40 on the clock here at Dolphins Soccer Park. Thompson will send this one toward the near side. Pelletier first to make contact. Angulo then heads it. And Garcia will send it across the midfield stripe. Peterson got a foot on it, and Hernandez knocked it away. Once again, the Yellow Jackets looking to move forward on the attack. Here comes Shevers, and Thompson gets his hands up for the save. How quickly did that attack develop?
What a first-time ball by, I think that was Taleb, if I'm not mistaken. Just poked it with the outside of its foot over the top, and at first it looked like it was going to go all the way to Thompson, but it found its way right in the middle, and Shevers was chasing. I mean, that is a very difficult pass to play accurately. And thankfully, Thompson was able to cut off the angles, get out there, and make a save.
I spoke about precision on the through balls. How about that precision as Thompson grabs that corner kick out of the air. And he sends one across the midfield strike quickly toward Peterson. And the Yellow Jackets give it away in the midfield. Dolphins nearly gave it right back. They do. Afonso. Wanted Shevers. Garcia was there. And Garcia's grabbed. Advantage Dolphins. That ball up toward Hernandez, but Morales-Fernandez waiting for it.
Again, that's the right idea. They're having space here on the near side of their attack, but just got to be more accurate on the passes through.
.145 to go, first half. Afonso. Headed by Angulo. Strong header in the other direction. Bronco went down along with a Yellow Jacket. That was Goldagger. He stays down. Thompson waiting for this one. Plays it out of the air. And play is stopped.
Could hear from the booth. I think it was Jamali Peterson yelling at the ref, he's good, he's good. Frustrated with the stoppage of play.
The clock continued to run through that stoppage as we approach 1 minute to go in the first half. Bronco for Adebisi. Adebisi, strong touch, and ends up falling face first onto the pitch. Goal kick, American International. 45 seconds to play in the first half.
Very interesting to see how the team functions with all these substitutes in. You know, still same overall identity, but each player bringing their own individual attributes.
Under 30 seconds to go in half number one. Dolphins hoping for one final opportunity on the attack. Peterson toward Hernandez. They may get that opportunity, but strong hands and a decisive moment there from Morales-Fernandez. He came out, dove on top of that ball, and will punt it into the midfield, bringing the first half to a close. Deplin didn't get much on that attempt. Zeros on the clock here at Dolphins Soccer Park. Through 45 minutes, American International leads the College of Staten Island 1-0. When we come back, the second half of this NCAA Division II men's soccer non-conference matchup.
I feel like as a player, I've grown so much with this group and with my coaches, and my game has just elevated a lot more than it would have anywhere else, to be honest. So I'm just so grateful to be able to play with this team. And just being able to play in Division I soccer week in, week out, it's just getting the best of both worlds, having the opportunity to get a degree. You really have to appreciate what you have. And there's so many kids around the world that don't get these opportunities, so you have to take advantage of it for sure.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
My dad was a soccer coach and bought this little book bag. I could sit in the book bag like facing backwards and look like my legs out. So I'd be in his book bag when my dad coaches and the ball's going around. I'm like kicking at the ball in the back. And my dad was like, we have a prodigy. So he put me into soccer and it just progressed from there. The catalyst was the opportunity to play soccer at a Division II school. I loved the team. They brought me in like I was one of their own. The professors help out so much. They actually care about developing me, not only so I just memorize the material and able to take a test, but am I able to apply the information. I don't feel nervous asking them, hey, I'm not going to be in class, can you send me something? And they're completely fine with it and they understand, which is the best part. On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do. Be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I'm able to go out and become president of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. SAC is consistent of like a ton of different backgrounds, and we'll come up with cool ideas for like fundraisings and having the opportunity to raise money for Make-A-Wish and knowing it's going towards a good cause. Not only motivates me, but it motivates the whole community. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
Dear soccer, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be in this position today.
Thank you for being something that is more than just my sport.
Soccer really is the beautiful game, and it will take you more places and give you more experiences than you could have ever dreamed of.
The people that I owe the most to are my teammates. They have been my crutch to lean on, shoulder to cry on, my hype woman in times of doubt, and my best friends day in and day out.
You get to wake up every day and play the sport you love at one of the highest levels at a prestigious university surrounded by your best friends. There is simply no better feeling.
You have given me my best friends, my most trusted mentors, and the most essential experiences of my young life. You are my community. With you, there is no race, no gender, no rich, and no poor. There is just a ball, 2 goals, and a common language.
Thank you for teaching me how to be a strong and courageous woman on and off the field. Thank you for giving me hope for the future.
On the soccer field, I found a home. That is where I have always belonged.
I've learned a lot of things. I think one of the biggest things is how to cope with people, because I think that at the University of Virginia, and just as you keep moving on in life, you're going to keep meeting like many more people. And I think all of the connections that I've made just at the University of Virginia they've become a big part of me. I think even the guys on the team, I consider some of them my family. I mean, I wake up in the morning at 6 in the morning, I'm spending time with them all the way up till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And I think that's one of the bigger things that I've learned is the relationships that I build with people, whether it be on the soccer field and off the soccer field, because even classmates at University of Virginia are some people I consider some of my best friends. And I definitely think connections with people and the bonds that you build with people that I know are going to carry on with me through my entire life, it's definitely some of the bigger lessons I've learned.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
I can't describe how much I learned as a player, but also as a human being, because you have to overcome challenges that you don't face in other areas. As part of the NCAA and obviously the college system itself, being a student athlete, there's so many challenges that not everybody else can relate to, and you have to try to excel in both areas. And now eventually you'll become a leader. Like in my case, I kind of had to step up into that role. And I feel like I've embraced that challenge, and now I love the spot where I am right now. I love how I've matured, become a leader, become the captain of the team, and hopefully I can help the rest of the guys win the Natty.
I was the kid who would do surgery on my teddy bear and have my sister be my patient, and I would wear the stethoscope and the lab coat. I was that kid. Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Dr. News, who is the head of the biology department, definitely has had a huge impact over the past 2 years I've been in the lab. He took a chance on me and actually gives me the power to actually do things. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades. I've had so many experiences with underprivileged people, and just seeing that they want the basic things that people get out of life. And if I can help in any way, that just kind of warms my heart. That's why I want to be a doctor, to serve those who have been dealt a bad hand. It was my sophomore indoor season. It was the first year with our new head coach. And he comes in and he's like, we could be a national contending team if you guys work hard. And I heard him and I was like, well, I want to be a national champion. I want to be an All-American. And I bought in because he bought into our team. And I qualified to go to indoor nationals. It was just because I bought into myself, because someone bought into me. I decided I wanted it, so I went and grabbed it.
Dear Soccer, there are no words to describe my love, admiration, and appreciation for you. From the moment I was brought onto this earth, you were all I knew. You have been with me and have seen me from a young little boy in Brazil to a well-rounded man in America. From all the days and nights kicking the ball at walls, breaking everything at home and making my mom upset, sleeping with a ball under my arms, making fun of my dad for beating him by 1 goal, never imagined that he will let me in just to see me smile. You were there for me. You were there with me. When we are together, nothing else matters. It's me and you. It's like the whole world disappears. Everything goes away, and we just enjoy it. I have always given you my all, my very best. Soccer, you have brought me to a place outside of my comfort zone, gave me an opportunity to live out my dream, and introduced me to my mentors, my role models, and most importantly, my family. You have been my teacher, my biggest fan, my biggest critic, and my best friend. With you, I was able to accomplish milestones that I'll always be proud, experience moments that I'll never forget, make memories that I'll forever remember, and live the life that I always dream about. So thank you. Thank you for turning the little boy who used to break things into the house to the man that I am today. There are no words to describe my love, admiration, and appreciation for you, but there are words to describe the feelings that I have right now, playing in a Final Four with the greatest team, the greatest coaching staff, with the greatest university, and with the greatest fans. Nothing will ever compare or measure up to this moment. We're not done. I hope to still have you with me for a long time and live many more great memories together. Thank you, soccer.
Welcome back, soccer fans, to the second half of the College of Staten Island men's soccer's competition against American International College. First half was really good, entertaining from both sides, but American International just slightly more industrious, and they were able to grab the 1-0 lead in sort of the latter stages of the first half. College of Staten Island had plenty to build off of, some nice attacking play when they can beat the Yellow Jackets press, but what they really need to work on is the crispness of their play in the final third. You know, they're getting into some good positions, but they just have to be a little bit more decisive when it matters, whether that means being cleaner with the final pass or more decisive with the shot when you get the opportunity. So definitely lots of reasons to believe that CSI can make some differences here if they get the right moments, but American International proving to be a worthy opponent so far. And here we have on the far side, CSI looking for an opening. Shot from Angulo was tame, and it will be collected by Morales Fernandez relatively easily. But good energy from the Dolphins early on to show that they mean business here. Ball's rolled out. Alphonse trying to play it out from the back. Bit of contact, nothing called, but they're able to collect and give it right away again. Peterson looking for a cross. Can he play it? Deflected and eventually cleared by Hulshoff. So American International looking a little slow off the gate. Dolphins will look to take advantage of that if they can. Although they give it away right as I say that. Well done by Carolou to stick his chest in front of that pass and take the impact. Dolphins looking to build some possession now. Here's Asensio Cueva. Gives to Garcia. Attempted pass to Angulo. Went slightly awry. And American International gains possession. Nice little run there by Neeson, but he gave it away. Dolphins right back on top. Speculative attempt from Peterson. Again, tame for Morales Fernandez.
Thank you, Aaron, for taking our viewers through the opening 3 minutes of the second half. We had to make sure we get second half starters. Starters in second halves of games have been our nemesis here in the stats booth all season long. And getting the correct 11 out there has been nothing less than a nightmare through the first 6 or 7 games. But we've gotten it taken care of, and I've returned to the commentary booth.
Those stats can be tricky, man.
There's a 3-person effort as that's headed back toward his own goal by Gabriel Valerio. Goal scorer for American International. They lead 1-0. That ball sent out across midfield, all the way to the attacking third, and some shoving and body contact there between Taleb and Asensio Cueva. The Yellow Jackets have it as they work it across the midfield stripe. Afonso has his pass intercepted. Bronco redirects for Kirilu. Kirilu wants Bronco, and he's working against Neeson, but Bronco is able to chip it in the air. Afonso waiting, tries to clear, headed by Kirilu. But Hulshoff first to it. Kirilu.
So we talked a lot about Angulo and what he's done for the midfield, but Kirilu has been at least just as much influential. I mean, he is being a workhorse out there, and his creativity is vital.
And we saw that from Kirilu early last season, and then his season came to a premature end. But early here in 2023, he's been just as impactful, as you mentioned, Aaron, and that's been on full display in this game. Deplin for Peterson, and a great move by Peterson, who's tripped up a bit, stays on his feet, goes down now. No whistle, throwing Yellow Jackets.
Slippery. Not sure how he managed to keep the ball in bounds there on the far sideline, but unfortunately he lost his footing and couldn't convince the ref to call the foul either.
Ball bounces toward the near side. Valerio moving toward the center of the pitch. Sends it back to Afonso. That's chipped in the air. Garcia with body position, and Thompson took some contact from Taleb.
Not great communication there for the Dolphins between the defenders and the goalkeeper. Someone should be talking. Ideally, Amari Thompson should be telling his defenders what he wants from them there, so that way they don't end up with a mess, which they almost did.
Angulo for Garcia. Now Angulo. Nearly avoided the challenge. Looked like Schwartz may have gotten a piece, but now Hernandez off the pass from Angulo is dispossessed, and a whistle blows. That's going to be a foul against the Dolphins.
Well, Hernandez definitely works hard to win the ball back, but he was just a little too antsy there. And the Yellow Jacket defender, number 2, Gabriel Valerio, did a good job of drawing the contact and going down.
Far sideline, Yellow Jackets have it. Schwartz chips it in the air, giving chase is Pelletier. He has a step on Deplin. Pelletier now being forced toward the corner, and Deplin knocked it over the touchline, so it's going to be a corner kick for the Yellow Jackets, their 5th of this match. Dolphins also with 3 corners of their own.
Pelletier, we've seen all first half how quick he can be, but Deplin did a great job of recognizing that. Once Pelletier committed to turning the ball back, he had a little moment there where he left the ball exposed, and Deplin timed his tackle perfectly.
Corner kick upcoming with just under 37.5 minutes to play in this match. That's sent near post into heavy traffic, but it ends up on the outside of the frame.
Questionable delivery. We saw that on American International's very first corner, where they just did not beat the first man, and that is the number 1 rule of any cross. You got to beat the first man.
Garcia Back to Asensio Cueva. Now Kirilu. Angulo. Right back to Kirilu. Thompson. Tracks it down. Tight window there on the ball to Kirilu, and now the Yellow Jackets have it along the near side. Giveaway. Valerio says, my bad. On that pass, the Dolphins were hoping to build an attacking play off of that giveaway. Could not, but they do maintain possession in the midfield. Bronco, back to Angulo. Angulo finds Garcia. Garcia looks to turn. Defended well. Now Angulo being pressured from behind. He goes down. And Holshoff can't believe it.
I understand why he feels that way because of the way Angulo went down. Kind of looked like a dive, but in reality he did give a bit of a shove there. Was number 6, Holshoff. So good call by the referee in my opinion.
Part of your job as a ball handler is to sell it.
That's right.
Angulo didn't get all of that. But Leandro Angulo tracks it down, no problem. Garcia.
Beautiful touch.
He wanted Adebisi, but no window to make that pass. And that gets through 2 Dolphins, but Leandro Angulo launches it up the pitch. Morales Fernandez waiting, and he will punt it into the midfield. Asensio Cueva headed that ball, but instead it moved toward his own goal. That's not what he wanted. Dolphins, however, able to recover. Angulo for Asensio Cueva. That's sent up the pitch. Peterson, the nearest Dolphin. It's headed away from him. Valerio trying to keep it away. And Adebisi is whistled for a foul on that tackle.
Patient at the back from the Dolphins, but at the moment they're struggling to progress the ball a little bit. What they really would like to do is put the ball up the wing a little bit more and then settle into their attacking third, but the American International doing a good job of preventing them from being comfortable doing that.
And here come the Yellow Jackets. Crisp passing. Schwartz moving in. Sends one across the front of goal. Pelletier tangled up. The shot is saved by Thompson as Pelletier was taken down, hands on his head. He can't believe it.
Well, what a fantastic job by Schwartz, first of all, to find the pass at the back post for Pelletier. But once Pelletier had the ball there, he had to take that extra touch to get around Deplin. But Deplin did a fantastic job using his body. And Pelletier couldn't get a clean purchase on a shot.
Nice job there by Granholm to get rid of that ball with the heel. But the Yellow Jackets give it away. Now Kirilu moving forward with speed. He has some space now. Playing Adebisi and Hernandez through. Hernandez takes the shot, but did not get much on it. And it is saved by Morales Fernandez.
And as you said, Joe, at first it looked like that ball was for Adebisi, and perhaps Adebisi would have actually had an easier time generating a more powerful shot with his left foot. Instead, Hernandez tried to open up with his right and couldn't get the purchase he wanted. In an unfortunate way for a good chance to fizzle out.
And Adebisi is down on the pitch now. Looks like he's grabbing at his right leg.
Not what you want to see. Not entirely sure why Adebisi started out instead of perhaps Uzo, but regardless, you never want to see a player go down with a non-contact injury. You hope it's just cramps, and not that he nicked his hamstring or something like that.
We'll give trainer and Adebisi some time, and he is going to walk off under his own power. That's always a good sign. That will force a Dolphins substitution here. And you mentioned Fortune Uzo. It looks like he might be coming back in here.
Yeah, Adebisi really favoring that right leg, though. Very noticeable limp, so I don't think we will be likely to see him back on the field. But fortunately, Uzo is a really good player to be filling the gap, although he's not quite on just yet.
He might have to wait. We'll see. I believe that's him standing at midfield. First, the Yellow Jackets will take a free kick. Peterson. For Naranjo. Naranjo. For Garcia. Garcia. Moving forward slowly. Finds Hernandez. Naranjo. Back to Garcia. Now Naranjo again. Moving ahead. Sends one toward the box. It's headed up in the air by the Yellow Jackets. Garcia first to make contact on the way down. And once again, American International with a chance to counter. Schwartz making a run. That ball goes toward the near side. Taleb moving in now. Taleb crosses one toward the touchline where it cannot be kept in by Hulshoff.
It is just intriguing how quickly American International are able to become dangerous on the transition. You know, one quick ball roll from Christian Torres, number 24 in the midfield, and all of a sudden, options aplenty. Unfortunately for the Dolphins, the ball from Taleb didn't have the shape that he maybe would have wanted, and the chance didn't come to anything. But time and time again, we see that American International are able to break Staten Island down.
You could also see once that ball was turned over by the Dolphins, how aggressively Schwartz was making that run up the pitch. He was storming down the center of the field as the Dolphins give it away again. And that pass was just wide of its intended target. And now Taleb is down. And he's not getting up.
I think he just took a big bump there, contact sort of thing, and he'll have a bruise, but I imagine he will stay in the game.
Head official has stopped play as the clock winds down inside of 30 minutes and 30 seconds. Taleb limping his way up the pitch. He is certainly not 100%, but he's back on his feet, and play will continue with a Dolphins throw. Bronco off the throw, got a foot on it, and that's cleared toward the benches, and it will go out of bounds at midfield.
But just going back to that moment when Taleb was able to make that steal, I mean, if he was able to put that pass right into the path of Schwartz, would have been one-on-one with the keeper. Once again, an instance of the Dolphins finding a little bit of luck.
William Lopez onto the pitch for the College of Staten Island. Less than 30 minutes to go from Dolphins Soccer Park. Dolphins trail 1-0. Peterson moving up the far side with some speed. Avoids one challenge. Working against two Yellow Jackets. He coughed it up for a moment, but the Yellow Jackets couldn't keep it in play. Peterson chips it in the air. And down he goes. No whistle. Play continues in the corner. Kirilu trying to keep possession with the Dolphins as he turns toward goal. Gives it up. Naranjo. Naranjo sends one into the box off target. Morales Fernandez has it.
Well, it was a poor decision from Naranjo, to be honest. Didn't really have anything going there. And my best guess is that that was a poor shot attempt.
Dolphins looking to build an attacking play again here. Garcia back to Asensio Cueva. Strong sliding tackle from Taleb, and you can see he's still limping around. Peterson tried to direct it toward Deplin with the head. Could not, but Angulo has it. Lopez. Angulo to Naranjo. Naranjo for Garcia. Garcia into the attacking third, drops it off to Uzo. Uzo working toward the center of the pitch, has Angulo. He has Naranjo. Naranjo centers. Kirilou's shot is high. That one well over the crossbar, but a good-looking attacking play from the Dolphins as Kirilou's certainly had a chance to level the score.
Well, it looks like the ball must have taken a deflection because we're getting a corner kick here, but scintillating play there. What a ball from Angulo to find Naranjo as we have the quick corner taken here.
And that's sent toward the far post and headed away by Valerio. And I did not see the contact following that shot by Kirill. Obviously it happened with the corner kick that came immediately after, but Dolphins took that corner so quickly you could miss it as the Dolphins bench erupts following that last whistle. They did not like it. A yellow card is shown.
That's unlucky.
I believe that was Angulo who was shown the yellow, but can't be certain.
It was Angulo, that's correct. And it was unlucky. The ball happened to be bouncing a little bit high at about, thigh level, and Angulo raised his foot to try and control it, but it was a little bit reckless, and he went studs first into Yellow Jacket.
Already the third yellow this season for Angulo. We saw him lose a couple of games to yellow cards last season.
It'll sneak up on you, yellow card accumulation.
Uzo chipped it in the air. Garcia got a head on it. Uzo able to get the body on it in stride. He's moving in with some speed, and Valerio knocks it away. Corner kick, Staten Island once again.
Certainly take the corner kick, but I would say that was another instance where maybe Uzo could have had a little bit of a better, more direct touch, and he could have maneuvered around Valerio, but instead Valerio was able to get a foot in.
Cross headed away by the Yellow Jackets. Lopez keeps it with the Dolphins. Now Peterson sends one into the air toward Uzo, headed away by the Yellow Jackets again. Pass nearly intercepted by Peterson, but he got enough of it to keep possession with the Dolphins. Now Peterson toward the box. Collision. Play continues. Peterson goes down. No whistle. Jamali thought there should have been a foul there. And that's going to be Dolphin ball, as this game is getting chippy now. Question is, did the official stop the clock? I believe so.
Put up the signal.
That was a quick signal. It looked like he gave one of these. Now, viewers can't see the motion I made, but that could have been mistaken for an enough motion as he chastises Peterson. Dolphins bench, time and time again now, erupting in displeasure.
Well, they feel like they've been mistreated in the recent run of play. Specifically, Jamali Peterson has had a few instances where he's been in collisions and they felt like they were deserving of winning some free kicks, and then a relatively soft foul given against the Dolphins.
Peterson with a very deliberate shove there. They weren't going to miss that one. He sent Christian Torres down to the pitch, and it's going to be a free kick for the Yellow Jackets.
This is going to be a test of their temper. They want to give themselves the best chance of getting back into this game. They've got to keep their heads cool.
Dolphins still have over 25 minutes to get even. They lead in shots on goal 6-5, both teams with 5 corner kicks. Both teams have had multiple scoring chances throughout this match. The most recent opportunity for the Dolphins came off the foot of Brian Kiriloup. That shot was deflected and traveled over the crossbar. And it must have been a very small piece of that ball that contacted a Yellow Jacket. We missed it. Valerio heads that one toward midfield. The Dolphins then get a foot on it. Kiriloup had it taken away by Hulshoff. Torres up the pitch. Nunez gets tangled up with a pair of Dolphins, got it away, and Deplin beats Torres to the spot. Angulo for Peterson. Peterson moving toward the center of the pitch. Good ball toward Uzo. It's a foot race. Chipped in the air by Valerio, and that's a really good touch to keep that away from Uzo.
That's just class. He, only had a split second there to act before Uzo was on top of him, and he did the exact right thing, and very creative.
And Leandro Angulo gets there just in time to prevent what could have been a goal-scoring chance. Very aggressive run up the pitch there by Nunez.
Staten Island backline, especially in the second half, has been pretty solid. American International has given them a lot to deal with, and they've managed to keep them to just one so far. Specifically that right side, Angulo and Deplin. Very strong.
Peterson being given some space, moving in with some speed. Peterson can't keep possession. Uzo, the attempted tackle, and no call there. That looked like a dive from up here. And we'll see. This is going to be a corner kick. Substitutions coming on for the Yellow Jackets in this spot.
One thing I will say about American International is that they are used to being outshot. In their 2-2 draw versus Wilmington, they were outshot 23-8. And against Mercy, their most recent game, which was a 0-0 draw, they were outshot 22-11. So they're comfortable with not having the majority of the attempts on net.
American International getting some fresh legs at one of the forward spots. Halvard Bowen into the game. That last ball intended for him. This is Uzo. Uzo working up the near side. Several yellow jerseys around him here as he's trying to find a way to escape from the sideline. And Dolphins now have it with Garcia. He plays it toward the center of the pitch. Angulo avoids one challenge. Now Lopez. Back to Garcia. Garcia for Angulo again. Angulo wanted Naranjo, but defense right there. And the Yellow Jackets now working through the midfield will look to counter. Bowen knew he was offsides and will let that ball go. Thompson gets there.
Well, they didn't get anything from that spell of possession, but that was what I was talking about earlier, progressing the ball and being able to possess in the attacking third. And Uzo has helped a lot with that as he's been able to dribble up the near sideline and move everybody forwards just a bit.
Lopez working in the midfield, trying to win it back for the Dolphins. He does. Able to get it away to Garcia as we now have 21 minutes remaining in the second half. Miguel Espinoza back into the game for the Dolphins during that last group of substitutions. And now here comes Brian Kirilu. Kirilu for Uzo. Just outside of the box. Will look to cross. Sends one toward the dot. It's bodied away. Once again, the Dolphins denied a goal-scoring opportunity. The Yellow Jackets have been really good in defending those crosses. Schwartz goes down. And it's going to be a free kick for American International. Schwartz went down hard. You could hear him from up here.
That, to me, seemed like a little bit of embellishment.
I might be inclined to agree. I think it was the sound effect that made it seem that way. Whether or not it was embellished, I think the sound effect was a bit over the top, and given how quickly he got to his feet, I think he'd agree that he sold it.
Yeah, well, whether we like it or not, acting is an important skill in soccer. And look at that. He's able to give his team a chance to swing the ball in. And, CSI not having a lot of size.
That's sent on goal. And Thompson makes the easy save.
Very poor delivery. They'll be disappointed with that.
Yellow Jackets have it right back. There's going to be a throw-in coming up.
I think that Adebisi taking a little knock and coming out has been a blessing in disguise a little bit, because the presence of Uzo on the left wing has changed the way that CSI attacks and in a positive way.
Espinoza had a couple of options there, playing that ball ahead, managed to drive that ball right in between both of them. But the Dolphins still in contention for possession along the near side. It's going to be a throw-in for the Yellow Jackets down around the corner. Valerio will throw. He looks to throw it a long way, right on target for Bowen, but he directs it straight to Angulo. Now Uzo. Uzo wants somewhere to go with it. Angulo now Garcia. Garcia surveys. Finds Kirilu. Kirilu has a step toward the center of the pitch. Lopez toward Naranjo. It's whiffed on by Afonso. And now Valerio being forced down toward the corner. He sends it onto the foot of Garcia. Garcia may have thought about a shot there. Plants his foot. Dribbles to his left and could not find a fellow attacker.
It's better, though. It's better.
No room for error there as that was played by Morris. And Schwartz headed that ball in the wrong direction. Lopez was tripped up. No whistle. Bowen up to Schwartz. Working against Asensio Cueva. Left-footed shot blocked. Cleared by Angulo. Off the body of Espinoza. Naranjo waiting. 17.5 minutes to play from Dolphins Soccer Park.
I thought in that moment when Alphonse whiffed on the Dolphins' last attack that was going to be their moment. But they still got to fight for it.
Good dribbling by Kirilu, who crosses. Headed by Naranjo toward Uzo, but he could not square up with goal. Schwartz. Onto the foot of Angulo. Angulo working toward the center of the pitch again. Being given some space. Morris making a run up the far side. Angulo finds him. That ball hits Morris in stride. Working in from the corner. Now toward the edge of the box. And he was dispossessed. He continues to pressure. Afonso. Got it away and gets it back. The Yellow Jackets methodically trying to exit this end of the pitch, and they do so successfully, but Angulo intercepts, and with that giveaway, the Dolphins are right back on the attack. Naranjo. Cross toward Espinoza, headed in! Miguel Espinoza has leveled the score! What a setup and what a header!
Oh, great ball from Naranjo. That was really difficult to pull off. And, you know, it's great because American International were doing such a good job possessing the ball deep, managing to work through the pressure, but a haphazard pass from Neeson undid all that good work, and Naranjo found himself in a little bit of space, and he placed the ball perfectly between the two center backs. Such a fine margin there to find there, and what a great header from Espinoza as well. Still had a lot to do there. Directed the header exactly the way you're supposed to do it, back across goal. And really nothing Morales-Fernandez has done, or could have done, to save that. Really well-worked goal.
Well, I said it as that play developed, Aaron. It looked like the Yellow Jackets were going to exit that end of the pitch cleanly. They were moving right up the far side, and Leandro Angulo with a pass interception right on the edge of the midfield along that far side, completely changed things, got the ball onto the foot of Naranjo, and a perfect cross from him to set up the header for Espinoza. Dolphins have to love that attacking play, in addition to the defense from Angulo, and the score is now level at 1.
I mentioned that it's really going to be about defensive mistakes, and that's exactly what it was. They made that mistake passing in their own half, and that's what can happen when you let go of the ball in those areas.
15.5 minutes for one of these two teams to potentially find a game-winning goal. As the Dolphins are awarded a goal kick. Thompson tracks down a ball from behind the net. As the clock winds down toward 15 minutes to play.
Espinoza, by the way, that's his 4th goal of the season. That puts him tied for second in the conference so far with Thomas Nagy from Roberts Wesleyan, both of those people behind Kevin Evans at St. Thomas Aquinas, who has 5.
Dolphins will have one more non-conference game here at home. That game coming up on Tuesday. Then after that, conference play begins here at Dolphin Soccer Park. We'll have an 11-day layoff here on Sportsnet between the 19th and September 30th, which will be the conference home opener. By that time, the Dolphins will have already played 2 conference matches.
Just a little note, their next game, their last non-conference game, is against University of Bridgeport, a team that beat American International 3-2. So it's going to be another good challenge if this game is any barometer.
Naranjo crosses one into a sea of yellow. Misplayed by Garcia. Schwartz has nowhere to go with it. Angulo tracks it down far side with under 14 minutes to play. Angulo dispossessed from behind by Bowen. And now the Yellow Jackets have it. Afonso. That pass is taken away after it arrived on the foot of Nunez. Dolphins now have it in the midfield. Naranjo toward Espinoza. Espinoza has a step, but does not have the body position. And it's going to be a goal kick for the Yellow Jackets.
Shielded out there by Anton Granholm. Really nice play. The freshman looking like an experienced senior. Another one of those international players they have. He's from Sweden.
13 minutes to go from the College of Staten Island. Afonso gave it up. Granholm looking for somewhere to go with it. Plays it toward the near side. Valerio facing heavy pressure from Uzo. Uzo all over him, and he forces the throw-in that will go to Staten Island, but it was thrown right onto the foot of a Yellow Jacket. And Thomas Lafayette sent it right back over the sideline. Garcia will throw again. This throw toward Espinoza. It takes a good bounce for the Dolphins, and unfortunately they couldn't make anything of it. That wound up right on the foot of Kirilu as that's headed by Bowen. And he will have to watch it roll over the far side. Throw-in taken immediately by the Dolphins. I was surprised the official allowed that throw-in over there. Dolphins gave it away. Now Valerio with a pass on the first touch. Lafayette battling Garcia. Garcia takes it away.
Great work by Garcia. Persistence. Just a hunger for the ball. He wanted it more.
Under 12 minutes to play now. Afonso plays it up the pitch, far side for Nunez. Nunez met with a strong challenge by Morris, but was able to get it away. Goldogger for Valerio. He looked to avoid Uzo, but could not. He gets some help from Lafayette. Uzo tries to clear, and that will roll over the touchline. Throw in taken quickly by the Yellow Jackets. That ball was sent off of Uzo. Throw in again for American International. Throw goes into the box. Bowen got a piece of it. He shielded off the ball. Lopez doing some good work. Tries to clear, could not, off the head of Valerio. It's headed up in the sky. Angulo heads it. It's headed back the other way by the Yellow Jackets. And Valerio keeps it in with the heel. Lafayette was tripped up, but he was last to touch it. Throw in Staten Island.
Really nice sliding tackle in there in the back corner, trying to relieve some pressure. I believe that was William Lopez with the slide tackle. And now the Dolphins with the throw-in and a chance to relieve some pressure.
Espinoza for Naranjo. Naranjo Toward the center of the pitch, being given some room now. Has options. Hits a man in stride. That was Espinoza. And he's tossed down. Oh, I thought they might get him for a penalty there, Aaron. That was close.
I had my hand raised. I really thought the ref was going to call it.
So did I. I thought for sure they were going to call that.
But I really think there's some psychology in there. I do believe that refs are super hesitant to call a second penalty for the same team in the same game. So he didn't feel like it was clear enough, I guess.
And all of a sudden, this game is taking a physical turn. Naranjo's down after Schwartz just went down, and the clock is stopped at 9:21.
Naranjo holding his face. We didn't catch anything up here. Wondering if maybe he caught an elbow there.
Well, this is sure to be a highly intense final 9:21 from Dolphin Soccer Park. We've already seen some highly competitive games, specifically on the women's side this year. And now this game is going to come down to the closing minutes as Naranjo jogs off under his own power. He looks okay, but that will force a Dolphin substitution.
I'm wondering if he has to really quickly go through some head injury protocol of some kind and they're putting in a substitute temporarily. No, it looks like he's just taking some time on the bench. He does get one re-entry, so we still might see him again.
I believe that's Adrian Montalvan who just checked in for the Dolphins. Leandro Angulo chasing that ball down toward the corner. It's going to be a throw-in for the Yellow Jackets, and that was indeed Montalvan who checked in. AIC will make a substitution here.
The depth of this Dolphins team is really impressive. A lot of different players who are all showing really positive things.
Melishevers back in for the Yellow Jackets ahead of that last throw. He was very active in the first half. 8:15 to play from the College of Staten Island. Morris avoids a strong challenge, kept possession for a moment, and the throw-in belongs to the Dolphins. The Yellow Jackets bench didn't like that ruling.
A lot of questions being asked of the referees from both sides.
We've seen two very vocal benches today. I don't think the officials are making any friends down there, but that's a tough thing to do.
Center ref, I would say, hasn't had a very tight control in the game. Hasn't cracked down on dissent.
That always makes for a more entertaining broadcast. It's okay. Uzo. Back to Lopez. Lopez. Left-footed shot on goal and nearly mishandled.
Little bit of drama there.
Just a bit.
From Morales Fernandez. No real threat. It's just a bit of a bobble on a very tame shot. But, you know, why not test the goalkeeper? Who knows? Maybe he'll slip up a little bit more next time.
Here come the Yellow Jackets. Chevers redirected toward Bowen. Angulo gets there first. Looking for Montalvan, but that ball off target. Throw in Yellow Jackets. Under 7 minutes to go. Christian Amaral in the game for the Yellow Jackets as well. He wears number 18. Now Uzo working up the near side. Valerio in pursuit. Uzo had a step. Now looks to work toward the center of the pitch. Uzo for Espinoza. Espinoza fended off one challenge. Could not fend off a second. But instead, Amaral slipped over the ball. Now Garcia works toward the far side. Angulo. Shot on goal and saved. 6 minutes to play.
Dolphins are getting a little bit impatient, taking more shots outside the box. But what you really would love to see is for them to continue to develop those attacks and get more solid attempts a little bit closer in, because those are much more high percentage.
There's a bad giveaway. Here comes Kirilu. And Kirilu goes down. But he did earn the Dolphins a corner kick. And we've seen that already once. Bad giveaway by the Yellow Jackets, sending the Dolphins onto the attack quickly. That's how the Dolphins got on the board for the first time. And right there, Kirilu was able to earn his team a corner.
Yeah. If anything, you would say that the Yellow Jackets have been the architects of their own demise. And right now it might come back to bite them even harder than it already has. Kirilu looks like he stepped off the pitch, by the way.
He was shaken up, and he's headed to the bench. That's sent in the air toward the front of goal. And there were a couple of blue jerseys there. Now Montalvan got a foot on it. It's cleared by the Yellow Jackets. That ball hung up there for what seemed like an eternity. As a foul is whistled against the Yellow Jackets, the clock is stopped. And a yellow card is shown to Mela Shevers.
Yeah, and he was a little bit petulant there, Shevers. Threw the ball away after a foul call that he did not agree with, and that's a textbook yellow card. You cannot kick or, I guess, throw the ball away like that. Very clear in the rules.
Well, the head official said, how's that for cracking down on dissent, Aaron? As he pulls the yellow out.
Well, you know, if he's going to do it like that, as a Dolphins broadcast, I won't complain.
That's sent toward the far post. It's still loose, headed on goal and saved. What an opportunity for William Lopez.
Oh, man, it was just hanging there for him. It was just hanging there. And he did not get great contact on that header. It kind of skimmed off of him. Oh, he'll be thinking about that later tonight if the Dolphins can't squeak a goal here.
That's chipped ahead, giving chase Shevers. Working up the near side with just over 4 minutes to play. Into the game for the Dolphins, Ailey Dawson. He was the last substitution to come on for Kirilu. Valerio. Toward goal. And Bowen was shoved right into Thompson. Under 4 minutes to play. That's punted into the midfield. Afonso sends it right back the other way, headed by Morris. And now Angulo has it off the redirect. Angulo sends one up the pitch. Uzo there. Shevers there. Uzo has it. Along the touchline, could not keep it in play.
Uzo just causing problems back there on a bouncing ball. Really had nothing there, but made it into something. Unfortunately, he had no support.
Dolphins have played a very strong second half in this game. They now lead in shots on goal, 10-6. They have a 6-5 advantage in corners, and the last several scoring opportunities have belonged to CSI. Question is, do they have one more goal in them? 3 minutes to play from Dolphins Soccer Park. The Yellow Jackets still facing stiff Dolphins pressure in the midfield. Working methodically east to west right now. And there's a takeaway. Espinoza making a run. That pass broken up by Afonso. He's been really good in the passing lanes today. And now a counter coming here for the Yellow Jackets. Valerio looking to work around Garcia. Strong tackle by Asensio Cueva. And Uzo is leveled along the near side. Clock stopped. And the day is over for Mela Shevers. He receives his second yellow card. And Aaron, that yellow just a couple of minutes ago for arguing with the official, really coming into play right there.
Just not smart. Not smart from Shevers. You know, you understand the desire to stop the counterattack, especially with the ball at Fortune Uzo's feet, but you just got the yellow card just a few minutes ago, and you got to know where you're at. You cannot do that.
Well, to get the yellow for tossing the ball, only to be followed by that yellow, really hurts. You just never know when those yellow cards for dissent will come into play.
And now, you know, you've basically eliminated your team's chances of sneaking a goal at the end because now they're down to 10 men.
Under 2 minutes to play from Dolphins Soccer Park. Valerio has some room, making a run is Schwartz. Valerio towards Schwartz, headed off the crossbar! And the Yellow Jackets nearly took the lead.
Unbelievable. Wow. Just as I was talking about how the red card would affect the Yellow Jackets' ability to attack, they come out with that. And now the Dolphins looking to come the other way.
The crowd coming alive. Here come the Dolphins. Uzo for Espinoza. Dawson back to Espinoza. Espinoza looked to be through. No whistle. Espinoza goes down. The crowd can't believe it. And the Dolphins are denied a goal-scoring chance.
Well, I'll tell you what, this referee has guts for not calling that because I thought for sure that was a penalty.
That's the second time Espinoza nearly drew a penalty. And the clock is stopped with just under 57 seconds to play. What a final 3 minutes of this match.
You know, it looked like that chance was going to completely fizzle out before a shot was even registered. A little bit of miscommunication there up front, but Espinoza found his way to wiggle through and was nudged. I mean, I don't really see how you can't think of that as a penalty, because if it weren't for that contact, Espinoza would have been clean through. And I don't think the defender was in front of Espinoza. I really think that was a nudge from behind.
I agree with you, Aaron. I thought he was through. Whether or not the contact from behind was enough to warrant a penalty, up for discussion. I certainly thought that we might see the penalty called there as that ball is launched into orbit. Good luck chasing that one down.
I think it has to be said that it might be another instance of the referee not wanting to make a game-changing call right at the end.
We have under 30 seconds to play. The Yellow Jackets hoping for one last chance, but the Dolphins will clear into the midfield. Espinoza fighting for possession, and the Dolphins have it. Here they come. 18 seconds to play. Alex Morris looking for Espinoza. He's got him, and Espinoza will score a go-ahead goal with 10 seconds remaining in the second half.
Unbelievable. Oh, my gosh. What an ending to this game. You could not write it any better than that, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, oh, wow. Are we getting a treat here?
Did the flag go up, Aaron? I think they flagged him for offsides.
Oh, no.
They did. The Yellow Jackets were arguing the call. I thought that they believed the goal had been scored. Instead, offsides is the call.
Oh, my goodness.
And this game will end in a 1-1 draw.
Oh, no.
The ultimate deke out by the players and the officials. We thought for sure the Dolphins had won it. The booth had erupted. And instead, it is 1 point for each of these teams, albeit in a non-conference game, as we have an issue at midfield. So hopefully nothing comes of this. But this game is over. And I'm going to have to head down to the field. Aaron, take it away.
Talk about a dramatic ending in more ways than one. Seems like there's a bit of a scuffle, which, you know, is not necessarily unexpected because of the drama with the red card and the fouls and the late offside. And there was also a yellow card issued there towards the end. I believe that yellow card was issued to the center back number 4, Guillermo Ufans. But just what a way to rip the heart out of Dolphins fans there right at the end. Unbelievable. I mean, just a lot to deal with there, a lot to process. And, you know, as that attack was forming and Morris was looking for the pass to Espinoza, which he did a pretty great job of finding, Espinoza was trying to, you know, stay on side, stay along the line of the last defender, and he just couldn't quite do it. From this angle, from the angle of the booth, it looked like he had managed, but the linesman has a better view than us, and he made that call. And unfortunately, instead of coming away with 3 points from what was a highly contested non-conference competition, they only come away with 1. And the story of this game, I think, will be one of missed chances for the College of Staten Island. They did well to fight back from a 1-0 deficit, gave themselves plenty of time to work towards a second goal, and had a lot of nice chances. They created a lot of shots for themselves, but they just didn't have that extra piece of quality, that extra moment of composure, or they didn't get the break that they really needed. And American International, you would have to say, survived, because despite how well they controlled the game in the first half, in the second half they could not silence the explosive attack of the Dolphins. And what this will ultimately come down to is that offside call. You could also point to the penalty call at the beginning of the game. That saved penalty changed the trajectory. 1-1 score here. College of Staten Island Dolphins versus American International College, the Yellow Jackets. Next game for College of Staten Island will be against University of Bridgeport, a team that beat this Yellow Jackets side 3-2. Another good test before the conference competition start. My name is Aaron Cohen. I was broadcasting here with Joe Foreman. Thank you very much for watching and for listening. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we will see you again soon.